All right!
Welcome back to As It Should Be, popularly known here in the world famous As It Should Be Studios. Crystal Durant, Tommy Von Voigt. Yeah. They're both in the world famous As It Should Be Studios.
We're here.
Yeah. And we are back. This time we're going to be discussing our favorite live albums of 1977.
Yeah. 77.
Yeah.
What a year.
Yeah, what a year.
Wow.
And Tommy, I think you get to start this one.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start it off with two mentions.
Mentions.
Mention on, dude.
Mentions. And they are both Beatles mentions.
Beatles mentions.
Okay.
I think you might know what they are. Or maybe you don't. I don't know.
I probably know.
My number 2 mention is the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. Significantly better audio quality than what my number 1 mention is going to be.
All right.
But literally every song has the constant shrieking of tens of thousands of screaming teenage girls. It is relentless. It does not stop. It is from the beginning of the track to the end of the track. The entire recording in the background.
Yes.
Except like 2 octaves higher than that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean...
I know, but like, I understand why it happened, but it doesn't make for a pleasant listening experience.
That was for all those girls who couldn't be there and wanted to feel that vibe.
Feel the hype of Beatlemania.
Well.
But my number 1 mention is the Beatles live at the Star Club in Hamburg, Germany, 1962. And this one,
Yes.
Which
isn't really an official release,
No,
but
it's
it
not.
did come out that year.
But it is nearly unlistenable audio quality, but an important historical document, unfortunately, also a cash-in that the Beatles had nothing to do with.
Yeah. That they tried to stop.
Yes, they tried to stop.
I understand, though, they have since gotten their hands on... They have the tape now, and I'm hoping maybe they'll be able to do something with
We'll
that.
see now. Considering what they did with the Lennon demos, they might be able to do that. But apparently, this Hamburg thing, which they could not stop, that coming out, or the imminent release of that year, is what finally forced the label's hand to put out the Live at the Hollywood Bowl.
Right, as though that's comparable. It's like...
they had sat on the Hollywood Bowl one because of the screaming girls in the background.
Yeah, for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
they didn't put it out. They recorded it in 64, 65 with the idea to put out a live album at that time.
And we're like,
but
maybe we can't do this.
yeah, we can't put this out. Yeah.
And then because of this one from Hamburg in 1962, they were like, well, we got to put out something because this fucking bootleg that we didn't authorize is going to make the money and we're not.
Yeah.
But moving on from my mentions, I actually have a top 7 for 1977.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I do. My number 7, Rainbow on Stage.
Rainbow on Stage,
Yes, which is all the way down at number 7 because of a kind of unfortunate track selection. They had better material that they were playing at the shows that did not make the cut for this release. I do not know why. I believe there have been later releases that actually restore the songs that got cut, like Stargazer's not on here, like ridiculous omissions. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Obvious that they would put on it, yeah.
But what is on here is pretty cool. It's a fun record, you know. I love hearing the whole intro. You know, we're not in Kansas anymore. Looks like we're over the rainbow, rainbow. And then they come out, boom, 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 and they go right into Kill the King. That's like, oh, this is fucking dope.
Yeah, you can't, you know.
Yeah. My number 6, the Commodores with Commodores Live!
Oh my god, are they live?
Yes, they're live!
Yeah!
Live!
I think more artists should have an album called Live.
Live.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's enough exclamation marks,
A lot of people missed out on
exclamation part.
I really
that's how
want
you
the
know it's a good
excitement
live
of
album.
knowing it's live. It's live!
Yeah.
I want so many exclamation marks I trip and fall down while I'm reading the album cover. It's too live! It's too live, man!
Live. Yeah.
But no, it's a hot record. You know, they sound tight as balls, because of course they fucking did. My number 5, the Bee Gees with Here at Last, Bee Gees Live. Sounds
not bad.
Fucking, you know.
Sounds like the Bee Gees.
Sounds like the Bee Gees.
And how did the Bee Gees sound? Great.
Fucking great. You know, I mean, this is one of those ones where it's like, I almost didn't have to listen to it because I just knew.
Right.
Like, you know, it's not
You knew
going
the
to
Bee
be
Gees
bad.
couldn't let you down.
No, this is an officially sanctioned live album from the Bee Gees in 1977.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be bad.
Yeah.
Right.
But I took a spin through and I'm like, yes, of course. Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
Hello.
Sounds great. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Moving on.
Predictably great.
It's predictably great. It's exactly as good as I would expect it to be. But moving on to my number 4, we've got Foghat with Foghat Live. And man, they put out this live record at exactly the right point in their career when the track listing is literally all the good Foghat songs. You know, it's not like it came out right before Fool for the City, so we don't get robbed of that. It's not like it came out in like 1981 and they're touring on some record no one gives a shit about. Like they put this out at exactly the right point in time where their live set list was everything you would hope to have heard if you went to see Foghat live in 1977.
All right.
And they are on fire too. Like they are kicking ass on this recording.
Excellent.
My number 3, we have Kiss!
Oh, Alive!
With Live 2! Electric Boogaloo!
Oh, shit.
Now,
Electric Boogaloo.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I know that I'm pretty sure I had Alive as my number 1 for 75, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had it on your list.
It was definitely
we all
on my
did.
list.
Yeah.
But I think I might have put it at number 1.
Yeah, of course you did.
But I actually prefer Alive 2 if I'm comparing those two albums. Wow. I think the track listing is better. It's a better selection of songs on Alive 2. Because now they're touring in support of the records that I actually prefer more. When you're talking classic era Kiss, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, that's the era, and that's the songs that are on here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean they're basically sticking to only songs from those albums because they'd already done the
they'd
songs
already
from
done,
the
right.
albums. They didn't want repeat songs.
Right, but now these songs are in the set list.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's great. And the studio tracks on side 4, meh, until you get to Rocket Ride. Goddamn.
Yes. Yeah.
Rocket Ride slaps.
Rocket Ride is
hard.
one of the best
It's
Kiss songs.
best.
It really, truly is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the dude from Trickster didn't help with
No,
that
he
one,
didn't.
but still he managed to put in
No.
a good one. So.
If that, I feel like, and this, I don't want to go off on too big of a Kiss albums tangent, but if they instead of doing those godforsaken fucking solo albums, if they had taken the best tracks from all 4 of those, if they had taken the best tracks from all 3 of those, and also
Wow,
and
leaving
also
out the Paul Stanley one, huh? Jeez.
no, it's not the one I'm kicking out of the club. The Paul Stanley one has "Wouldn't You Like to Know Me," and that song is one of my favorite things that he has ever done. It's a fantastic song. But if you'd have taken if you'd have taken Radioactive and then all the best songs from the Paul and the Ace albums, and then Rocket Ride, and put that together, you would have had an incredible follow-up to Love Gun. Anyway,
They
moving
would have
on.
had to have arranged and produced many of those songs differently, at least the Gene ones.
I don't know. The
Which isn't a bad thing. I'm just saying, had Kiss done a lot of the stuff, the material on the Gene album,
Might have
they
been-
would have done
might have
different
been,
versions.
yeah.
It wouldn't have been the same
Yeah.
style, you know?
Yeah.
The Gene record, I don't know. Anyway. Free Gene. My number 2 live album from 1977, Alice Cooper with the Alice Cooper Show. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All
I think it's
right.
really kick-ass. But my number 1... I need a drum roll. Give me a drum roll.
Oh, you need, okay, all right.
I want a drum roll. My number 1. Admittedly, not even the best live album on this list, but there's something about this live album that's just so genuine and so fucking raw and seems so honest. Even if they did the same bullshit everyone else did with touching shit up in the studio, there's just something so raw and revealing about this fucking live album. That is the Runaways live in Japan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
fucking love this album.
Good
Love
record.
this
It's
album.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. They caught him at the exact moment in time, right before Jackie Fox quit, and they booted out Cherie.
Yes.
And then they,
Messed up.
shit just
After
started getting
that.
Maybe
weird.
everything
but,
kind of fragmented into
yeah.
just,
But this
whatever.
was at the height of Runaways mania over in Japan. They got off and they were screaming for him like it was the Beatles and completely in over their heads. And that's actually, that's kind of my takeaway from this album. I was listening to this the other day to refamiliarize myself with it again. And one of the things that occurred to me is I'm listening to this, I'm like, they sound like they're in over their heads here. They're in way deeper than they ever expected this to go.
Yeah, they're like going, holy shit.
And it was like within 2 years of them being like, we should be in a band, and now they're fucking headlining arenas in like Tokyo and
Yeah.
putting out live records on tour in support of their second fucking major label release.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
holy shit.
And
You
I
have-
think that's why Jackie was out, because she was just like,
I
whoa,
can't take it.
whoa,
well,
I can't.
that wasn't the only reason Jackie
Well,
was
obviously
out.
there was some really fucked up shit going on that she didn't want anything to do with. But I do also, from what I understand, it was just like she just
That's overwhelming.
It was just she was overwhelmed by it all.
Well, she was overwhelmed by that, and
No.
the fucked up shit she didn't want anything to do with was the fact that
Yeah.
she was literally raped by Kim Fowley.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
were obvious other
that
things
too.
that we won't discuss here.
Yeah, but and probably more shit than I'm not even aware of.
That, yeah,
Definitely.
none of us are aware of.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
But
Yeah.
but they were completely all 5 of them were. They were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And I don't know how you handle that when you're 18 years old.
Let alone with Kim Fowley, and
Yeah.
you're just surrounded by all men telling you what to do, and you've got no women helping you. You've got no real supportive structure, and you just like get on that plane, go do that,
Yep.
blah 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 blah. Even under the best circumstances, how do you handle
I
that?
don't know. But you hear
And
the-
it's the late 70s.
And it's
the late
It was like
70s.
the Wild West.
But you listen to this record, and it's like, well, knowing that what they're in the middle of, and then you hear them out there on stage, completely raw and exposed. It's just like, wow, this is such an honest, revealing fucking document.
Yeah.
And it also kicks ass too. So
It's genuinely good.
It's good.
That's my number one.
All right.
All right, well, there's
All right.
Tommy's list of live albums from 1977.
7.
And here's some words from our sponsors.
Nine Lives presents Morris.
Ready for a boat ride, Morris?
I wouldn't trust that thing in the bathtub.
We'll eat on board.
Sinking ships affect my appetite.
Oh, don't be finicky. I brought 9 lives.
I can't let her sail that thing alone.
Tuna and chicken or seafood platter.
9 Lives seafood platter. Anchors away.
9 Lives, nutritious foods cats really like. Even Morris.
I'd walk the plank for 9 Lives.
1977 is one big long list of Paul Core.
in 77, Paul Core is just known as music.
Yeah. That's
You don't have to
throughout the 70s,
differentiate.
yeah.
That's true.
All right, we're
I'll
back.
be back. Yeah.
Crystal, you got a list?
I got a list for 1977.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Okay. I have no runners-up or mentions or any of that jazz. This is my list.
Okay.
I got 5 entries. Coming in at number 5, I have Let's Get Small by Steve Martin.
I was expecting that.
It's so good.
My God.
Oh my God.
That's
Man, Steve Martin ruled the world in 1977. You
Yeah.
go into Spencer Gifts and get your arrow through the head thing.
Oh, yeah.
Headband thing. And all of it. Like there were kids in my school walking around with all white suits on
Yeah, oh yeah.
for Halloween. People dressed up as Steve Martin for Halloween.
You just
Huge.
color your hair
Is he-
gray, wear a white suit.
Yeah, like put powder in their hair.
No, do we know anyone who's met him? Is he cool? Is he cool? Because I want to think he's cool.
I met him and he was a super
He's
cool,
cool.
dude. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good to know.
Really, really
he
nice.
seems like he'd be a cool dude.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah.
You know, he's kind of. I think he's kind of. He's kind of a little bit nerdy.
Yeah.
in real life, kind
Well,
of. you know.
probably.
He's
I
a mental
mean,
patient like
yeah.
all other comedians,
Yeah.
but the interaction I had with him, super duper nice. Really,
That's
really
awesome.
cool. And this was fucking funny, and I think I still have pictures when I saw him at the Allentown Fairgrounds, and this guy was selling out Madison Square Garden for 5 nights.
Yeah.
He was doing better than a lot of major bands.
That's amazing.
As a stand-up, tap dancing around, playing a banjo. It was so
Which
great.
he plays really well.
He's an amazing banjo player, yeah. He's really great. Coming in at number 4, I have a jazz album.
Ah.
And it is One Night in Birdland with Charlie Parker, Bud Powell, Fats Navarro, Curly Russell, and Art Blakey. Wow.
Wow.
It... Bleh.
Oh, now my question here: was it a current performance or was it a vault thing?
No, it was current.
It was at them in
It
'77.
was them in 77,
Okay.
yes. And it is hot as fuck. Hot as fuck. I mean, even if it was just Charlie Parker and Art Blakey together, it's amazing for all you jazz lovers out there. Coming in at number 3,
We have one over here.
I have the Commodores live!
Live! Is that an exclamation point?
Live, yes.
Okay, that's how we know it's exciting.
Yes. And it is one of the times where you hear Lionel Richie at his funkiest. Funkiest. I think a lot of people still don't know that he was like the main songwriter for the Commodores.
Who the fuck doesn't know that?
A lot of people kind of... I bumped into people who didn't even know what the Commodores were. I'm not saying you people are fans because you're very
Well, you're music
wise.
people.
You're music people. But yeah, some people don't. But I know people who didn't know he played saxophone. People are dumb. But get that record because it's really great. Coming in at number 2, I have An Evening with Diana Ross.
Oh.
Yeah, it's live, but nobody's screaming about it. So she
That
won a
almost made my
Tony.
list.
She was nominated for an Emmy. She was in Supreme solo work. This has songs from Harry Nilsson's The Point and a chorus line on it. It's like a nice Broadway-ish overview of Diana Ross singing her breathy songs.
Yeah, but you know what pissed me off about this one?
What?
Is Theme from Mahogany is on there, and it's only like a minute and 20
Long,
seconds
I know,
of it.
yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
They couldn't do the whole
Yeah.
opus.
People did that all the time back in those
yeah.
days. There was always these medleys.
Yeah, oh, well,
Well, if you had 50,000 hits,
Yeah.
that's kind of how you got through a bunch of
I'll
them.
be talking about that shortly, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we'll discuss that later.
Yeah, and then coming in at number 1, my number 1 live album of 1977 is the P-Funk Earth Tour.
Oh, shit.
Parliament, okay?
Parliament.
This was recorded in 76 during the Parliament Funkadelic tour, the Mothership tour that my cousin Gene took me to, which I've talked about before, which was just some mind-blowing shit. And, it's a really great capture of the vibe in the room. I think it's not like a Beatles thing where people just screaming the whole time or whatever. It's the sound is good and it's clear, and you close your eyes and you can feel as though you're there. Like you might be able to smell some marijuana.
People are still high from that show.
Yeah, if my cousin was alive, he would still be high from that show for sure.
I listened to that record, and there are moments in that record where I'm like, I really wish I could see what these people are seeing, because like at the start of Mothership Connection,
Yeah.
Everyone starts fucking going batshit in the crowd. I'm like, what are they seeing on this stage right now?
That's one of the problems.
Is that
with
when the
live
shit is
albums.
coming down? Is that when the dude with
Because
the diaper's coming out?
It could be any of that. It could be two of the backup girl singers kissing each other. It could be George Clinton taking off his pants. It could be Sir Nose coming out and doing cartwheels. Like, it was literally a circus on stage. Anything and everything was happening, and basically all at the same time. And then when the ship is coming down, and it's just, like there are people running behind it with fire extinguishers, like making the smoke come out, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? This raggedy metal tinfoil thing, which was designed by the Kiss set designer. You know that?
Oh, I heard about that.
Well, yeah. Well, some of their outfits were too.
Yeah, and obviously you can tell, but it's a rip-roaring good time, Parliament Funkadelic. So check that out. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go. That is Crystal's 1977 list.
Nice, Crystal. That's a nice lift, though.
Nice lift, right? Yeah.
Crystal lift,
My
though.
lift.
Commercial time.
At last, a name brand stereo system with speakers, turntable, everything you need, only $199. I'm John Ward of American Sound. We've made a special purchase, and that means you save money. Our $77 price on the beautiful Sansui AM and FM stereo receiver alone was $179. Now, everything you need, speakers and turntable, all for only $199. That's at American Sound, all around Florin Mall and Watt Avenue at Freeway 880.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So, speaking
Over
of
to you.
me, we're back.
Yes,
we're
Did I say
back.
we're back? Well, we're back.
It's your
So the
turn.
Red Cross guys at this point in time are 3 and 5 respectively. So what
So I'm
live
going
album
to rank.
did
So
they
I'm going to
put
rank
out?
the albums they were buying at that time. They haven't albums out, but I'm going to rank the live albums they were
They were
purchasing
buying.
in
Yeah.
1977.
And I forgot they were on stage at the Spectrum show, the Parliament Funkadelic show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Cross were.
Red
yeah.
Cross they
Yep.
were playing. They opened for Parliament
They,
Funkadelic.
you never know.
They had to leave kindergarten early.
They
didn't
leave, fly, and then go back.
Okay. All right. Well, I have mentions. Mere mentions.
Mere mention.
Rolling Stones, Love You Live. I don't. It's not terrible. It's not great. Serviceable.
It didn't seem necessary, I think.
That's
think
how I
It
feel.
didn't seem
It
necessary.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem necessary, but it's not an abomination of
No.
any sort.
No.
You know. Yeah. So whatever. Okay. Holly's live hits.
Hollies.
Their 77 live record, which is pretty, it's the
Yeah.
Hollies.
It's the
Those
Hollies.
harmonies are there. I mean, even without Graham Nash, like they sound like the Hollies.
Hollies, yeah.
Yeah. Rainbow on Stage. And Kiss Alive 2. Yeah, those are all my mentions. Okay, so my actual list. I have 5. My number 5. I hemmed and hawed. I thought, should I put Kiss Alive 2 at number 5 or should I put this one? And it could go either way. Genesis, Seconds Out.
Oh.
Now, this is that
Oh.
period when they're still prog, but Peter Gabriel's out. Phil Collins has taken over as the front guy, but they're still doing like the prog stuff.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit more accessible, but it's still basically, for all intents and purposes, prog. But I like it. I mean, I think this is really good. Like, there are really good, solid songs in this, and not everything is 10 minutes long. They're like, there's a lot of 4 or 5 minute songs on
Yeah.
it. So
Not
All
over doodly doodly.
yeah, it's not too doodly doodly weedly weedly weed.
Yeah.
But so number 4.
Wheedly.
The Bee Gees with Here at Last. Like we were saying, it's kind of like it's the Bee Gees. You can count on them. They're not gonna let you down until the 80s. But yeah, and then in the 90s. But if we're talking 70s Bee Gees, it's okay. You don't even need to put your toe in the water. You're good. Number 3. Number 3.
Asshole.
The Moody Blues with Caught Live +5. Kind of like the Kiss thing, and like Earth, Wind & Fire had already done. They had a 3-side live album and a side of tracks, studio tracks. But this stuff was all old. The show was 1969, and the side 4 of tracks was unreleased 60s tracks.
Oh.
And so, yeah, so it's like them in 1969 live. It's a little rough. The edge is a little rough here and there. The opening track is Gypsy, which is one of my favorite songs from that period, and that's a little rough. But after that, they really settle in, and it starts getting really good, and I'm into it. All right. And with a drink of ginger ale?
Do you remember where they recorded that?
Somewhere in the UK's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I believe. I don't think it was here in the US's. I don't believe. But, my number 2, The Runaways, live in Japan. Yeah. Yeah, that is such a better album than it has any right to be.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, did they go back and doctor this up? I mean, if not, they were fucking smoking.
You listen to Lita on this goddamn record.
Yeah.
She is killing it on this
Yeah.
album.
Killing it. But vocally, their harmonies are...
The harmonies are on it.
Yeah.
I think they just were that good, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, granted, at that point, they hadn't been a band for very long, but they had probably just been hammering it away so hard. You become a machine.
You do, and they're 2 albums in. They've done a few tours under really, really less than optimum conditions.
Yes,
being subjected to God knows what kind of ridicule and abuse from the other acts on the bill.
Right.
I mean, these are the kind of conditions where you're just gonna, if you're the right kind of people, you will drill down and be like, "No, we're a fucking gang.
Fuck you. We can't kick your ass."
Yeah.
Well, also, they're used to playing shows like that where they kind of have to deal with assholes, and then now you're in Japan where everybody's like, we love you, so it's like this, they're coasting at this point, like we can really just do this and not have to worry about any of the bullshit. Yeah, great record. My number one is definitely one that's not on, nor would it have been on your lists. Laura Nyro, Season of Lights.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would have been on your list.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, well, that's, because she kind of had her 60s era where she came out and put out these records that weren't big sellers, but all kind of industry insiders kind of really liked the album. They were kind of, I don't know, they were kind of more in the know kind of records, but she had all these songs that everybody covered and had huge hits with them. So she had all this money, all this publishing money from all these songs that she had written that other people had hits with. And then she got married and had a kid and left music for a few years and just was home for the first early years of her child. of her son, and then she came back in 76 and came out with a new album, and this is her touring that album. Well, now she's kind of, softened up a bit. It's the mid-70s, and this is like the 70s AM Gold soft rock renditions of her 60s classics, but I still love it because I love that sound. And, when I was first going through her records, I didn't like this album that much because I didn't like that about it. But now I actually like that about it. So I enjoy this album a lot more than I really ever did. So that's why I have it at number 1. And,
Makes sense.
So there you go.
I like it. Good.
1977, all right. More 1977 messages coming to you.
Introducing the amazing record vacuum by Ronco, the new stereo accessory that protects all your records. Simply insert your record into the record vacuum, turn it on, and your record rotates automatically, sweeping and vacuuming your records instantly. Loosening deep damaging microdust particles, 33 1/3, 45, 78. Any size fits.
It makes a great Christmas gift, and it's only $10.88.
Available at Walgreen, Woolworth Wilco, Montgomery Ward, Osco, Turnstile, Venture, Goldblatts.
This Sunday, CBS Sports presents the year's most entertaining events as Farrah Fawcett Majors takes the court against Bill Cosby. And tennis will never be the same. On the obstacle course, Penny Marshall challenges Robert Conrad. Red Fox at billiards facing a determined Roz Kelly. A fast and furious ping-pong game with Phyllis George versus O.J. Simpson. On skateboard, the graceful Christy McNichol. Her challenger, the rugged Dawn Haggerty. These are just a few of the television and movie stars taking part in a high-spirited head-to-head sports competition not to be missed. Join Susan Howard as she tries to outscore her competitor, Gabe Kaplan. The women battle the men, and may the best person win in a CBS Sports special. Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. This Sunday at 8, 7 Central Time.
All right. Well, we're back.
We're back.
And I think we're going to hate 1977 now. Huh? It has to be done.
Has to be done.
It has to be done. Tommy, you may want to start this.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to need a little time to work up to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to just rush into this
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
No. Let it simmer a little bit. Well, okay, I've got a few that we can discuss. Coming in at number 3, I've got Loggins and Messina with Finale. And as is my usual, I've got a little write-up here, and I wrote, this one commits one of my favorite live album sins. Roll their best songs up into a stupid-ass medley that nobody wanted or asked for.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't. Yeah.
When I want to hear Loggins and Messina, if I'm in a Loggins and Messina kind of state of mind, I want to hear the fucking House at Pooh Corner. I do not want to hear 35 seconds of House at Pooh Corner sandwiched in between 7 other fucking songs.
Yeah. I agree.
There's not enough time to count any of the bees in the goddamn hive if that's all the song I get. Anyone out there who's into that song, they know what I'm doing.
Well, also, it's not like they have so damn many classics that they have to do that.
No need to do that.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
My number 2 is actually a 2-way tie.
Ooh.
Wow, it's been
It
a while.
is.
Remember this?
Remember that?
Yeah.
Challenge concert tied with Summer Fire 77 by Pink Lady.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pink Lady.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is pre-Jeff. This is pre-Pink Lady Jeff.
Yeah, which is to its credit.
To its credit.
Yeah,
but I here's what I wrote. I wrote, they are good singers. The musicians are tight. The song selections are fine. The recording quality is excellent. But it's just too goddamn bizarre. It's too fucking bizarre. And at one point they do in fact say Ruv Potion number 9.
Of course they do.
I mean,
and it's hard to hear that
over and over
keep a straight
and
face.
Over again. Yeah.
And I can't.
You kind of feel racist for even hearing it.
I know. That's the thing. I didn't do it, and it's an accent. And it was 1977, and I hear them sing Ruv Potion number 9. I'm like,
you're like, oh shit. I'm being forced into being racist against my will because
like
I'm hearing this.
I'm hearing that, and I'm feeling whatever. Like it was a part of me that was like, this feels like it aged as well as Revenge of the Nerds did. But this is just them singing with an accent, and I still felt bad listening to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, another 2 years, then they do Pink Lady and Jeff, and then a couple years later, the two of them are like, we don't want to do this anymore. Pink Lady is over. And that's how that ended. They just were like, we just don't want to do this anymore.
Well, they got smart. They got wise.
Yeah, hopefully they pocketed some cash, and they were like, this is dumb.
Yeah, they probably were paid well.
Yeah.
I hope so.
But
I would hope.
Yeah.
Or maybe they weren't, and that's why they walked away.
Yeah, that's what I'm depending on their management and who was in charge of them. And,
I hope they weren't manipulated and taken advantage
to know.
of. Fuck knows. But
was that your worst?
But as you said during the Runaways segment, we're not going to get into that here.
We're not going to get into that here, yeah.
But no, my actual worst is another two-way tie.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
We got Sherman Helmsley's favorite band, Gong, with Gong est mort viva Gong, tied with Gong live, etc. What the actual fuck even is this horse shit? What is that? You want to talk about prog as Wheedly 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 Wheedly? You listen to Gong and you're going to be wishing for Wheedly 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 Wheedly.
Yeah.
Man, Sherman Hemsley, man, he was prog as fuck, that guy.
That was his favorite band.
Yeah, I know.
He was like out of his mind over Gong. He had a whole room that he called the tea kettle room and shit. Like, it was... Yeah.
King of prog.
Yeah, I cannot fuck with Gong at all. I tried. I tried listening to some of this shit. I was like, I didn't. I cannot do it. Well, I did it so you don't have to.
Yeah, I thank you. I thank you.
It's like all the worst impulses of Genesis, but if it was that was like the whole band. And that was like the only musical
with none
output.
Of the tunefulness.
With none of the tunefulness, none of the direction.
None of the seeming purpose.
Nothing, no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you, Crystal?
So, Crystal, you got some more stuff.
Crystal, you got a lift, though?
I don't have no lift. I only have one thing, and it is gone.
But are you tying, or is one worse than the other? I don't know how you could pick one over the other.
They're all the same thing.
Yeah, it really honestly is. Gong this, gong
Gets
that.
the gong.
A million years ago, when I read a interview with Sherman Helmsley, and he was like, "Oh, blah blah blah, gong."
Oh, he's going on about it?
He was going on about it, and I was like, I better check out this gong, because he's a funky motherfucker.
Yeah, Sherman knows.
Sherman knows.
Sherman did not know.
Hey, Sherman had no idea. He was dropping a lot of acid at that time. To me, the first time I heard it, I thought, it's like, take the worst Deedly 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 from Genesis and King Crimson and everything, like, through the lens of Captain Beefheart.
Oh.
Right? Like...
But while floating aloft in a magical balloon.
that's piloted by Frank Zappa. It's like you...
While getting kicked in the face?
Yeah.
But softly.
Softly kicked in the face.
Gently kicked in the face.
Because I'm just wondering, like, who is doing this? How did they get money to make this? Who put it out? How does this exist?
I don't fucking know.
It's just so fucking weird and just so incredibly bad.
There was nothing that I heard that I could grab hold of.
And
Not
I
one
listened
thing.
to, at least 2 minutes of every song. Every single one.
That's more than I listened to.
Maybe, I don't know. But it was
so
just
if you only listen to 2 minutes of each song, that means you didn't even get halfway through the intro.
Yeah, you haven't actually heard any of their songs.
So you haven't actually heard any of this shit.
Yeah.
No, I heard plenty. Trust me, I heard plenty. Just how... What the fuck? How does this exist?
I do not know.
It's very,
Now I'm kind of sorry I didn't listen to it. I think.
Well, you can be sorrier if you listen to it.
Yeah.
Which sorry do you want to be?
How sorry do you want to be?
Right now, currently, you're the correct sorry.
Yeah.
You're the better of the two sorries.
I've hit on the preferred sorry.
You're on the right side of sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, my worst stuff. Okay. I have a few things here. Kiss Alive 2.
Oh no!
Yeah, I have it on my mentions, and I have it on my worst of.
Oh.
The reason why it's on my mentions and didn't make my list is because you know, it's a part of my growing up, and I listened to that so much growing up, you know, as a kid, and I loved it then. But there came a point later on when I listened to it, and I went, this is kind of terrible. Like, it's not, like, I don't think it's even a pimple on the ass of the first one. And the thing about the first one, as we talked about in 75, is that whatever Hocus Pocus was going on, they made this really, really fucking great live album that gives you the feeling of being there, sparks imagination, and it just does everything. It ticks all the boxes. It does everything a great live album is supposed to do. This one sounds like they kind of it's held together by tape, this one. You know what I mean? I can hear, like, there are moments where I can hear Paul Stanley singing I Want You, and then listen to the backing vocals for the call and response. Paul Stanley is in the backing vocals that are recorded on that. Like, it's so obvious that they fucking fucked with that one. It doesn't have that. This one doesn't fool you. Alive fools you. I'm not fooled by this one. And it's kind of, it's so much clunkier and just like, ugh.
Well, Paul, these emotions that you're feeling, these feelings that you're feeling, this roller coaster that you're on emotionally. This is what all Kiss fans go through.
Yes.
If they grow up.
Yeah.
Not when. If they grow up.
Well, many Kiss fans can't do what I'm doing right now.
No, they can't.
And yeah, so basically, even though we know what we know about Kiss Alive, I still can't see through it. I see right the fuck through this one, and I can't.
Did you notice that I didn't mention this album at all on either list?
Yeah,
and it's primarily because of that. I'm like, this is some bullshit. Even though I agree with you about the material, like, you like it because blah blah blah. Yeah, was it, better? It was different, but yeah, from maybe the second or third time I listened to it, and I was like, wait a minute, something is not right.
Yeah,
here.
it just doesn't sound. It just isn't as good.
Ugh, you don't get.
Here's the thing. I agree with what both of you were saying and what both of you were hearing. I do hear it too. I think the thing is that I just didn't care, and that's because with live albums, I've known for so many years, as you both have as well, that they're all doctored. I mean, Judas Priest Unleashed in the East is Judas Priest Unleashed in the fucking studio. I mean, that's why when I hear one that I suspect might be all legit, I get really outsized excited.
Yeah.
Because it's like an anomaly.
Right.
So if
they exist.
if I hear fuckery and it's obvious that they changed everything but the drums, for Christ's sake.
Well, where you won't hear a lot of that?
Yeah.
Jazz.
Well, fuck jazz, though. I don't know.
But
have you ever read my book called Fuck Jazz? Out now.
But the difference isn't if it's fucked with or not fucked with.
Yeah.
The difference is if the outcome is that you're fooled, even if you know.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah. That's a fair point.
So that's kind of
feel
what
like
it
they're
is,
not even trying to fool you.
Yeah.
It's like, how stupid do you think we are? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like they caught lightning in a bottle with the first one, and they did not catch it with this one.
Okay.
Basically. But next up, The Alice Cooper Show.
Oh, no.
I knew this was coming.
I always thought this was terrible. I mean, I remember being a kid gobbling up every Alice Cooper album I could get, and I got that one, and it was like, okay, that isn't very good.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible. I will say, yeah, I don't know. I just always thought it was just this really crappy Alice Cooper in Vegas kind of live album. He's not actually in Vegas, but it just there's a Vegas-y Alice element to that album to me.
I don't get that at all from him. I mean, his whole thing at the time though is there was a bit of a theatrical shtick that he had going on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The difference between the Alice Cooper group and then where Alice went solo in the 70s is Alice Cooper group live could be, kind of ragtag and sort of ramshackle, but they were kind of dangerous and kind of scary. Alice was literally frolicking with Muppets on stage at this point. Literally.
Okay, hold on a second.
Hold
on a second. I don't care who you are. If you have the opportunity to frolic with Muppets
on stage,
you say yes.
But you do it on your private time, not on stage.
No.
Or you do it on the show.
If you
form another band that's about frolicking with Muppets, and you do it
I'm
with
sorry, but if you have the opportunity to frolic with Muppets live on stage and you decline, I have to question all of your fucking values. I have to call your judgment
You are
into
no
fucking
friend of Tommy.
question. You are no friend of Tommy's.
That's it. The end.
Anyway, back to you, Paul.
To be fair, I would take any and all opportunity to frolic with Muppets myself. But Alice Cooper does not have that luxury in my book.
Not then.
Although I do love him on the actual Muppet Show.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
was
whole
really
thing.
good.
Next up, the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh!
Yeah, the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. You know...
It was only a mention for me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I didn't mention it at all.
Oh, fine.
You know, obviously it's technically bad because of the recording. There was no way that the technology that they had at the time, there's no way they could record and keep out the sound of
Screams.
the screaming audience. You know, it's just not possible. And even by 77, there was only so much they could do to mix this and mess with it. I think they could probably do something with it now. But, you know, whatever. I mean, the thing is that the performance is okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But it's not great.
It's a victim of circumstance.
It's a victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Because-
difficult of a time as you're hearing them on the record. They had that much difficulty hearing themselves playing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At least that much.
Yeah, and knowing what it's like being on stage when you don't have adequate monitors, I'm amazed that they're even as tight
You
as
do
they are.
anything. Yeah.
And that's a good point. If anybody who listens to stuff from the Mania era and listens to them live and goes, yeah, they're shit live.
No.
Take that into consideration. The fact that they're that good under those circumstances means they're pretty fucking good,
Yeah.
actually.
Just watch the video. Just watch the
Yeah.
Shea Stadium
Yeah.
thing alone.
Put
Yeah.
yourself into the mindset. Imagine yourself on stage. You're trying to play guitar and sing and keep tight with the rest of the band. And you're standing 6 feet away from the drummer and you can't hear
hear
the
him.
drums.
Yeah.
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 I've experienced that myself, and I've never been on stage in front of 50,000 screaming teenage
And the
girls.
stage is shaking just from
Yeah.
the energy of everybody screaming.
Yeah.
Not even them.
Ringo has actually said that he would have to look at where their hands were on their necks. Like,
Only way
this
to
is
know
we
where
are
we were in the song. Yep.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't hear what they were playing.
Yeah.
No.
Also, as far as the technology at the time, so I believe, if this is the album I'm thinking of, because I read this a while ago, I think that was recorded onto 3 tracks. So when they tried to do this with it and put it out in 77, they had to find a 3-track machine that actually functioned, and the one they found kept heating up and burning the tape.
Oh, God.
So what they had to do is aim a vacuum at it set on reverse to blow air onto the tape head to keep it from scorching the
Overheating.
tape and getting too hot, just so they can play it and transfer it to another multi-track machine for them to then do
Jesus.
what
Whatever
limited
else they need to
EQing
do.
they could do to even get it to be
That's
listenable.
crazy.
Yeah. And so the fact that it sounds as good as it
That's
does
crazy.
is pretty
I know.
amazing. But
Might as well have people with fans.
I mean, if they didn't have a vacuum, they would have gotten a studio assistant, one of the
Yeah.
gophers. Get a fan out
Get
of
a
it.
fan over there. Wow.
yeah, so for my worst of, I have a 2-way tie.
Oh,
Anybody
no
care to
tie.
guess? Pink Lady with the Challenge concert and Summer Fire 1977. Oh my god. Okay, so this fucking shit.
I couldn't.
Challenge concert.
They do Bay City Rollers covers. They do Jolene. They do Feelings. They do Take Me Home Country Roads. They do Sudoku. Okay? I mean...
It's the most surreal karaoke experience
It
you'll
is
ever
absolutely
hear.
like, what the fuck am I listening
It's
to?
live band karaoke with 2 Japanese idol singers in
Japanese idol
1977.
singers.
Japanese idols.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what this is called. This is like the whole idol thing. I
Yeah.
think started in the 70s.
It did.
It's still a thing today.
Yes.
But this was they were like an idol idol group.
Yeah. They were.
Oof.
They were.
Well, yeah, but so we get 2 albums of this in 1977, and then the second one is more BCR covers or ABBA covers. J5, they do I Want You Back.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck me.
It is
so
weird,
there,
man.
there are all kinds of ill-advised goings on these records. I mean, yeah. I mean, I kind of hate coming after them in a way, but
There's a list to be made. And
Well,
that's
I
on
mean,
top of
the
it.
thing is,
Yeah.
no, I know where you're coming from though, because they were young as fuck when they were doing this. And probably being misled and manipulated and God only knows what.
Who knows what?
If people were buying these records and coming to see them in concert, that's all the feedback you need to assume that what you're doing is
good
is
or
good
it's-
or
yeah.
is going to stand the test of time. And
And some men got on that, and let's make them a product, and let's make this money.
So yeah, I don't actually, in all of my shade on Pink Lady, I don't really aim any of it specifically at the two of them.
No.
Yeah, well.
It was what it was.
And what it was bad.
It was a challenge concert.
Well, all right. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's our worst of. Let's get some messages going here.
Ooh.
ちょっとリッチな昼下がりちょっと贅沢なしましまのチョコレートグリコチョコリロ
Let's shake 'em up together.
Shake 'em up? What's that?
It's a great new taste of ice cold Thunderbird with grapefruit juice. Just pour the juice in the bottle and
shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em up. Thunderbird and grapefruit juice. Shake 'em up.
That's a shake 'em up.
Wow, totally together.
Thunderbird and grapefruit juice. Shake 'em up.
Now you get some.
Thunderbird and grapefruit juice. Shake 'em up.
All right, now we're back.
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
We were just frolicking with Muppets.
Yes.
Frolicking with Muppets.
And Paul was like,
but
we don't need to do
there's
this
no Alice
anymore.
Cooper present, so it's okay.
Paul shot that all down. He was like, we're done
Alice
frolicking
tried to
with
come
Muppets.
in. We said, Alice, there are
Get
Muppets
out.
in here. You cannot come in and hang out.
Stay out.
Send him packing.
You suck, Bertolino.
Yeah, well. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for watching our favorite live albums in 1977, and thank you for watching all the videos, because I know you watch all of them.
Yes,
every last one.
all of them.
And, if you subscribed, that's really awesome. But if you haven't, consider subscribing. If you do, little bell, notifications. But do come back next week, because we're going to be discussing our favorite live albums of 1978.
8.
Yeah, it's going to be
Ocho.
Yep.
8.
We're totally going to.
It's
Don't
gonna
worry,
be
we're not
great.
going to come back next week suddenly and go, oh, psych, it's actually our favorite albums of 2025. No, we're not going to do that. It's going to be 78.
Oh.
It's going to be 78.
Yes.
So, all right.
Yeah, no.
All right. See you next week.
See you then. 1978. The commercials you've been picking have been really good. I gotta say.
Let's hold for a second here. Let me get this. Oh, yeah, the commercial on the last one, the commercials on the 75 episode are...
Wow.
I found some good shit for that one.
They were really good.
And
Sometimes
the Tina Turner commercial?
Straight up porn.
Yeah. I was like, I had to watch it 3 times and go, wait, is this real? Was this real? Because I don't want to put it up if it's something that somebody made. And I had to really watch it, listen closely.
Oh, like an AI, like
yeah, I'm like, wait,
commercial.
because I don't remember it. I'm
Right.
like, I didn't see this commercial.
No, I remember
I'm like,
that
oh,
shit
okay.
because it got played during Soul Train like every commercial break.
That's not
for
how
a minute,
it's pronounced, Crystal. You know how Soul Train is pronounced.
Train. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's pronounced similar to
Sloan
Train.
Sloan Train.
Sloan Train, yeah.
That's how Paul gets to work.
Yep.
Oh,
the Sloan
my God.
Train.
Sloan Train.
Alrighta.
That's all righta.
That's alrighta. Alrighta. Remember Alrighta?
Yeah.
Well, alrighta.
Alright. Well, alrighta.
It's all righta. More sponsor
I'm dealing
money.
I'm dealing with a big giant ass collar here, and it's a little unwieldy.
Maybe we could get sponsor money from Big Potato.
Ooh, Big Potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want sponsor money from Big Collar.
Big giant ass collar.
Big
Yeah.
giant ass collar.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right.